When you think about businesses that are selling through the roof, like Skims or Allbirds, sure, you think about a great product, a cool brand, and great marketing. But an often overlooked secret is actually the businesses behind the business, making selling and for shoppers buying simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. It's home of Shop Pay, the #1 checkout in the world. You can use it to boost conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts going abandoned and way more sales going through to checkout. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout Allbirds uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/income, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/income to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/income.
This is The Planted Runner. I'm Coach Claire Bartholic. Cape Town, South Africa has officially been named as the 8th star in the Abbott World Marathon Majors series starting next year in 2027. It joins Tokyo, Boston, Berlin, London, Chicago, New York, and Sydney, Australia as bucket list marathons around the world. Last month, Cape Town hosted the World Marathon Age Group Championships as kind of a dress rehearsal for its inclusion in the majors. And it clearly went well because Africa will finally host a major marathon. One of the competitors in this year's race was a client of mine who trains with me on the PR team. I invited Terry on the show to share his experience because only a small number of marathoners ever get an opportunity like this. We recorded our conversation before the announcement that Cape Town was officially designated, so it's excellent timing. Welcome to The Planted Runner. I'm Coach Claire Bartholic, and my mission is to help you improve your running, your mindset, and your life with science-backed training and plant-based nutrition. Today, I'm going to talk to Terry Whelan about his experience running the marathon in Cape Town, South Africa. You'll learn what the race was like, how the experience of the age group championships went, and how his training is about to change this year. If you're a runner that's worried that your age is catching up with you, Terry is about to give you a little inspiration. And if you are gearing up for a big race this fall, now is the time to get your plan in place. To make things easier, I've just built a super cool training strategy quiz that will help you figure out exactly which training solution is right for you. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about it later on in the show, but if you're ready to check it out right now, head to theplantedrunner.com/start. That's theplantedrunner.com/start. And now here's my conversation with Terry Whelan. Welcome to The Planted Runner, Terry.
Oh, hi, Claire. I've looked forward to being part of this for quite a long time, so thank you.
Yes, it's so good to speak with you. We've spoken before, obviously, because you are a member of the PR team, and you have had quite the experience this year. So I want to talk about that first. Tell us all about Cape Town.
Oh, all about Cape Town. That's a big question. First of all, the race was amazing. They are trying to become the next marathon major, so they're going out of their way to make every athlete feel special, which they really succeeded at, and make sure that all the machinery of the race is scalable, that they could have 50,000 people if that's what signed up, which meant that when there's only half that number, there's enough room to do a lot of things, and it worked really well. A great race, really well organized, loved it.
Good. And you were invited there. Tell us why you were invited.
Of course. So they have a competition every year, which they call the World Age Group Marathon Championship. So you sign up the previous year, and based on your times that you make in the previous year. They've changed the rules a little bit. It used to just be if you make the qualifying time that you were in. Now they're going to just invite people till they fill the space. However, for me, the qualifying time at my age, I'm 66 now, was roughly 30 minutes faster than you need to qualify for Boston. So it's not easy. It's work to get that time. But I put all my eggs in one basket, and with training help from Claire, I went to Sacramento to run the CIM, the California International Marathon, and made the time required. So I was invited to run in the age group race in Cape Town. They roughly invite 100 people for each 5-year age group, male and female. So there's nearly 2,000 runners in the competition. They start at age 40 and move up to every 5 years to 80, and then it's 80 plus. So there's a couple thousand people in this part of the competition. We get our own special start. We started before everyone except the pros, which meant that, Eliud Kipchoge was 5 minutes in front of me. I was thinking, wow, okay, let's go. I'll catch up with him.
You didn't catch him?
No, he was out for a stroll. He took 2 hours and 19 minutes to finish. However, yes, it was an age group championship. Absolutely. I mean, yeah, I could talk for 10 minutes on just how he made this race special for everyone who was there. Let me just wrap up on the age group championship, because this really, to me, it was a goal to try and get there. And it was, until I'd run the qualifying race and I had one chance at it, I was quite nervous. I didn't even know if I could do it. It was a good goal. Got there, and I had no idea. I felt I hit the qualifying time with about a minute to spare.
Which was what? Everyone wants to know what that time was.
Okay, so the qualifying time for over 65 was 3 hours 26, and I ran 3:23 and a half roughly. So I didn't quite have enough time if I needed a bathroom break on course, but I had enough time to, let me back up here. I retired a year ago now, and I worked as an engineer. Engineers are really good at, you give them a goal and they give themselves a little bit of margin of error, but they make the goal. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to go faster than I needed to accomplish the goal, but I'm going to make sure that I accomplish that goal. And that's exactly what I did. I knew what I needed a permanent mile pace. I knew the course and where the uphills were. I knew how much I could afford to slow down on the uphills if I made it back on the downhills. Mm-hmm. And so it was very much an achievement of running a goal pace. And I had some obstacles on the way, but getting trained up for it. But yeah, we worked together to make that happen. I recall having a call with you about 2 weeks before, maybe a week before the race, and I was so nervous. I put everything into this, and what happens if I think you asked me, well, what's the worst that could happen? Well, I could need to stop at one of the portable bathrooms, get out and start running the wrong way up the course. Or I could trip and fall and turn around. None of that happened. It went really well. But coming into Cape Town, I had no idea. I felt I just made the cutoff, and there was lots of people who would be running sub 3. No one in my age band ran sub 3, so fine.
That's impressive at half your age.
This was good. This was I was there, and they had a board with all the people in the age groups and what their times were, and I was in the middle somewhere. So this felt like, okay, I can do this. That's the first time I had a sense that I was actually where I belonged, if you know what I mean. It was a really, a really good experience there to see all that and talk to the people who were roughly my competitors or other age groups. And this was a different kind of event. This was a race. This was, if I finish in front of you, I have a position on the board above you. rather than a time trial. Most of our races are time trials.
Right. We're running for ourselves. Yeah.
Or we can actually, there's a very real sense in which at CIM, I definitely had the mentality. You don't need to lose for me to win. We're here together. I could run with a pace group who was, 3:25, and with a couple of miles to go, you run away from them, but you're with them. You're working as a team. Whereas here at Cape Town, I was running to beat people. And occasionally in local 5Ks this happens because you know who your competition are.
Yeah.
But not to bang my drum too hard, but generally
bang away. That's good.
Yeah. Generally in local 5Ks, I'm running for first or second place. So, and if the guy who's faster than me shows up, I'm not running for second place. I mean, I'm only running for second place.
Right.
So, it's a different thing. Often I'm actually trying to help others reach their pace rather than anything else. Okay. But here at Cape Town, they gave us 2 bibs, one for the front with your race number on, one with the back with your age group on. This leads to a very interesting situation where towards the end of the race, you're seeing people in front of you with race numbers.
So you know who your competition is.
Oh, yeah. And the race, it started at perfect 54, 55, 56 in Fahrenheit. A nice cool temperature, perfect for racing. But the day was going to warm up. My weather app said it would warm up to the low 60s and it would be overcast. It actually became sunny about halfway through the race. And it was really humid, and the heat it wasn't unbearable heat. This is not Singapore. But it was warmer and more sticky than I'd really planned for. And I just had to adjust. I had to slow down. But it's the same for everyone. Again, this is a race against people, not a race against the clock. And in the last few miles, I noticed I was starting to catch up with people. And one of your mental strength tricks is imagine a rubber band between you and the person in front and let that rubber band pull you in. And I've always said that doesn't work for me. The band
Yes,
snaps.
I remember you specifically saying that never worked for you. And it worked this time.
It worked this time. That pulled me in. I was so motivated. I very much didn't, there was everything on the line here in my mind. I mean, it's silly, right? It's just a game, but it mattered. And so I passed an M65, and then there was another one up in front, and I thought, we passed, I think it was the 40-kilometer mark. They use metric like most of the rest of the world.
Yes.
But they do drive on the British side of the road there. It's a weird place. Anyway, I passed the 40K mark, and there's an M65 in front of me. And I thought, okay, he is not going to end in front of me. So I sit just off his shoulder with about 100 yards to go, 200, and I just sprint. And I don't know if I can hold the sprint for whatever's between the air and the finish line, but I'm past him before he has a chance to see, I've just been popped.
Yes, I love it. I love it. It's such an interesting experience because so many marathoners, like you said, we're running for ourselves. We're running to beat our old time. We don't even think about the competition. But in something like this, it's a true sport. Yeah. And I think that there's like a little nice guy mentality that people have. And they say, I don't want to wish for somebody's downfall just so I could win. But that's sport. Every other sport, in order to win, other people have to lose. Yeah. And that's just part of the game. And we don't often think of the marathon being a game. We don't think about it being sport. But at these kind of competitions, you actually get the sport, the competitiveness. And personally, I think it's great.
It's not what I want to do every day,
right?
But it was a great experience, that part of it. And in typical athlete fashion, I crossed the finish line, relieved in front of this other guy, and then my left hamstring completely cramped up. And it was like, great, that's really good.
If it happened at the right time.
Yeah. I mean, there's a picture of me at the finish line, my hands over my face. I'm actually just wiping sweat out of my eyes, but it looks like I'm crying. It's great.
Yes. So tell us a little bit about your running history. Like, how did you get to this point? When did you get into it? When did you fall in love with the marathon? Let's hear how you got here.
Okay. Yeah. So the family law is that I ran before I could walk. This is consistent with who I was. I sort of went from a sort of weird crawling move to just standing up and running one day. And I wasn't stable. So if you keep moving, and then you eventually fall down. So that sort of presages a lot of what's going to come out here in a second. But I actually wasn't very athletic as a child. I have poor coordination, and, ball sports just aren't my thing. I also had a bronchitis as a kid. This is London in the 1960s, and while the worst of the smog was gone by then, it was still pretty polluted. And I ended up with fairly asthmatic lungs, not the best. And back then, you've got asthma, just don't run. But the thing I discovered because I had no coordination is when they would say, okay, if you're not going to play cricket, if you're not going to kick a soccer ball, football, you have to run around the pitch. I just run around the pitch, and it wasn't quick, but there was a meditative thing about it that I immediately enjoyed. You don't have to be good. You don't have to be fast to enjoy running. You have to have some coordination to hit a cricket ball. You really have to have a lot of situational awareness and good balance to be a good football player. I don't have any of this, but now I could probably have learned it if I practiced. But I found running was good for me. So that was when I was young. I didn't run them for a long time. I went to university and studied physics, and ended up coming to the US for graduate school, and eventually got a job as a software engineer. Very sedentary kind of work. You're sitting there thinking all the time, and combination of living in Los Angeles, where it's not as smoggy as it used to be either, but it's still sometimes some bad ozone days. And so I was getting asthma. And somewhere along the line, I discovered if I stress my aerobic system sufficiently, it lowers the intensity of the asthma. Rather than being exercise-induced, it's exercise-reduced. All right. So I started running just because it made me feel better, both physically and mentally. And I wasn't fast, but I realized I don't stop. I just keep going. So I ended up deciding, I joined a running club, and everyone said, "Oh, well, have you got a BQ?" I said, "What?"
What does that mean?
Yeah, exactly. And I found out what it meant to qualify for Boston, and then put on my engineering hat and found a online training group, an organization you'd be familiar with, and they coached me to basically my first effective marathon at Sacramento, and I got a Boston qualifier right out the
on
gate.
your first marathon. Wow.
Yeah.
Impressive.
I mean, I'd walked one a decade earlier, but that I don't count that because I wasn't serious about it, and I hadn't run in 10 years, and I trained up for a couple of years, and planned everything out. I knew the pace I needed. I think it was about 3:30, so it was about 8 minutes a mile, whatever it was, and just made sure in good engineering fashion that I accomplished the goal,
Great.
And people looked at me and said, "You BQ'd on your first marathon." I said, "Yes, because that was the goal." Doesn't everyone? No. In fact,
no.
No.
Most people do not.
Most people spend a lifetime trying to get to that. And I realized, I'm certainly not the most talented athlete in the world, not by a long way, but I've got at least, the mind, if not the body, of a marathoner. I can put up with long, boring runs, and I find it mentally relaxing. And I think that's important. I can put in 70% every day rather than 100% today and then be injured tomorrow.
That is very important. That is definitely very important. So what made you join the PR team?
Okay, so I've been following your podcast for a long time. And I love the way you mix science with mental strength and passion for the sport. I mean, while you may not be running yourself anymore, when you did run, you really cared, and the care that you have for your athletes comes across in the way you present it. You're not the coach who's trying to say, I want you to be the fastest runner today on the track. You're saying, I want you to live the best life you can that includes running. That's the message I get.
Oh, that means so much to me because that's so true. Running is fantastic. It'll always be one of the great loves of my life, but it's more about the life behind the running than the running, Yeah. Yes.
And since I can be a lot obsessive, I needed a coach who would tell me, stop, slow down. You're going to hurt yourself.
Yes, I speak to the obsessive among us because I get that.
It's I don't think it's unique to running that you need to be able to put in 70% every day rather than 100% occasionally, but it certainly is a feature of the way you need to train. And a lot of us, we're taught, give 110%.
Right.
Or
get the A on the test, ace everything.
Yeah.
All the time.
No, a string of B pluses is really good.
Yes. It's preferable, actually. I'll be back with Terry right after a short break. If you're training for a big race this fall, can I ask you something? You're about to spend the next 3 or 4 months waking up early, running through summer heat and humidity, rearranging your family's schedule because you've said yes to a goal that's important enough to demand these things from you. So why would you trust all of that to some mass market training plan? You are not the average runner, and I'm not talking about average paces here. You have your own goals, your own strengths, your own weaknesses, your schedule, your own life. That's why I created a new quiz to help you find the right training solution for you. In less than 2 minutes, you'll answer a few simple questions, and I'll guide you to the best option based on your experience, your goals, and the level of support you actually need. Whether that's a custom training plan, group coaching, or something more personalized, you'll get my recommendation designed around you, not the algorithm. Because your race matters, your time matters, and the work you're about to put in this summer deserves a plan that fits your life. Head to theplantedrunner.com/start and let's find the right path to your best race. That's theplantedrunner.com/start. The Planted Runner is sponsored by Liquid IV. Did you know that I was a Class 5 whitewater rafting guide in my 20s? For 3 summers, I guided guests down some of the wildest rivers in the West while the sun beat down on us and the icy water kept us cool. Hydration at the time was a rinsed out orange juice jug roped to the raft. Thankfully, today, we have superior hydration. Liquid IV delivers longer lasting hydration than water alone. And right now, you can get 20% off your first order with code PLANTED at checkout. I love the mandarin orange flavor and rely on it after every workout. Just 1 stick and 16 ounces of water hydrates better than water alone. Powered by Live Hydroscience, an optimized ratio of electrolytes, essential vitamins, and clinically tested nutrients that turn ordinary water into extraordinary hydration. Soak up unforgettable moments with on-the-go hydration from Liquid IV. Tear, pour, live more. Go to liquidiv.com and get 20% off your first order with code PLANTED at checkout. That's 20% off your first order with code PLANTED at liquidiv.com. Welcome back to The Planted Runner. Here's more of my conversation with Terry. Okay, well, let's switch a little bit into coaching. So you're not going to be racing another marathon this year. Mm-hmm. How would you like to change up your training? You've told me a little bit. We're going to switch you into something else for the rest of the year. But let's talk about that. Let's talk about what we want the rest of 2026 to look like for you.
Okay, so I wrote down 5 things that I want to get out of the rest of the year. Most importantly, I need more strength. I mean, I've been ignoring my upper body strength completely, and for my own long-term health, I just need to, do some lat pull downs, some shoulder presses, some upper body exercise, and I need obviously not to have my hamstring cramp ever.
Okay.
So I need to work on. I need to put a lot of my time that I'm willing to dedicate to athletics into just straightforward strength. I don't enjoy strength exercise, but I need to do strength. I think that obviously as you age, you lose speed faster than you lose endurance. I need to work on speed. I've sketched out some 5Ks for next spring, perhaps even this autumn, winter. We'll see. Unfortunately, sort of the headline 5K is Carlsbad. I believe one of our athletes did that a couple of months ago, and I'd like to run the Carlsbad 5K, but it's early in the spring, and sort of we have to work out how to put some races prior to that on the calendar so that I can gain some speed. But speed work, certainly. My long-term vision is next year I'd like to run Chicago, which is late October. I'd kind of like to be in Sacramento for CIM. That
would be close.
It's probably can't do both. Certainly the way I race.
You can. You just can't do them both well.
Yeah. Okay. So the many things about CIM. It is going to be the Olympic trials qualifier for most people. There's going to be some really good athletes there. Mm-hmm. So it's the last time before last that I went there, same situation, and the atmosphere is electric, because you've got these really, really good marathoners, and rather than racing, they're just trying to hit the qualifying time. They're working together. Some of those videos of them coming across the line, all wearing the old Vaporflies, it's classic.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's happening an hour or more before I get to the finish line, so I don't get to see it. But the atmosphere does go across the field. CIM, I've done very well there before. The course, I know the course. I can't say I could run it blindfold, but I know how to do well there. So if I'm in good shape and I'm looking for a good, I'm 66 years old. I'll be 67 by then, and I'm thinking, could I manage a lifetime PR? Yeah.
You never know. But this is for 2027, right? Yeah. So so in 2026, if we want to focus on strength and speed, what I would have you do is you don't need to train like a marathoner, at least for this summer. So we want to pull back those runs, especially the long run. We still want to keep you out there. We still want to keep the endurance going, but you'll actually get plenty of endurance by running 90 minutes a day instead of running 2 hours, instead of running 3 hours. So we don't need you to train like a marathon anymore because we want you to save your time and your energy for strength and speed. So if I was going to put you in a 5K plan, your longest long run, probably 12 miles, maybe 14 if you really, really want one, but probably going to keep your long runs relatively short, probably keep them in the 10-mile range, but maybe add some speed to it. But the other thing that we want to do is if we are focusing on strength, it's really important to take out some of the mileage, take out some of the distance, because we want you to do your strength first, and then you're running second, which is going to be new for you because you've always prioritized running. I want you to get sore in the gym so you're tired for running and instead of the other way around. So it's going to feel very awkward for a while, but that's good. We want to focus on lifting heavier. Now, yes, we want you to get strong full body, but for someone who still is going to primarily be a marathon runner, we don't need to have these giant biceps and these huge traps and all of this stuff, right? We want you to be relatively strong, but the legs, if you're having cramping issues in the legs, we definitely want to get some heavy squats in there. We want to get some lunges in there, maybe some deadlifts. Nothing crazy. You don't need to do all of these crazy things you see on the internet. It's not about being creative in the gym. It's kind of like running. It's about being boring in the gym, but doing a B+ job every time, but applying that to strength instead.
Okay. So I do have a gym membership. It's part of my Health Claire plan. I've not been there in 2 or 3 months because I've been training for a marathon. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really useful. I mean, if it rains, I've got a treadmill there. That's, if nothing else, valuable. So I will be exploring how to use those machines that they have. It's probably better for me, I'm assuming, to use machines rather than trying the free weights and those kind of things.
No, not necessarily. So machines are great because they kind of force you into the proper form for the most part.
Yeah.
But what they take away is the stability muscles. So if you're doing like a squat, for example, a weighted squat, you have to use a lot of core. You have to use, be balanced correctly on your feet. If you're doing a machine where you have weights on your shoulders and you're squatting, it's different because the machine kind of forces you into the right position. So it can be helpful if you don't know what you're doing to use machines. But I would recommend, if you don't know how to do some of the very simple moves properly, that you either sign up with a trainer or get somebody to help you just to learn a little bit of technique, or you take a class, something like that, just to learn the proper basics. But this is not rocket science. This is pretty simple stuff. This is not about being super coordinated. This is not like playing soccer or football or golf or anything like that. You don't have to be super precise. Anybody can learn to do a proper squat.
I see. Okay. While we're talking weights, the other thing, especially squats, so I do have a bit of a knee injury, diagnosed as a meniscus tear. It can be a little sore, and I have noticed if I do load the knee, I was doing some leg presses, which basically are similar to a squat in what it does for the legs, that afterwards my knee felt abnormally sore. So I thought, at the time I was, right in the core of marathon training, don't do that. Don't make your knee sore. You need your knee.
Yes.
So I sort of am scared to heavily load it. It's sort of like if I put in half the amount of weight and do twice as many reps, I feel like I'm doing the same amount of work with a less risk to the knee. I don't really know.
Not necessarily. So lifting weights, you might think it's a math problem that, if you do half as much weight and twice as much, you'll build the same amount of strength. And that's actually not really true. You do want to work to fatigue, because that's basically when you know that you've worked or close to fatigue, you've worked your muscles enough to build some kind of strength. But there's a difference between lifting, let's say, a 20-pound weight 10 times or a 40-pound weight 5 times. That's a real difference in pure strength. So if you're looking for hypertrophy, so getting big muscles, the way to do that is more reps, but slightly less weight, because it kind of bulks you out. But if you're working on true strength, which is what you want, heavyweight is going to be a better option for you. So there is an argument that heavier weight is actually better on the knee because it's fewer repetitions. It's fewer times that you're grinding, that knee out. So the real rule of thumb is don't cross the line into pain. And the problem is you don't know until you've crossed it. So again, with the B student example, you want to get close, but never go too far. The other thing is you want to focus on the things you can do. So if you think that the leg press machine is causing an issue, you need to find a different exercise that doesn't cause the same issue. So play around with how much load and play around with the different kinds of exercises. But for the most part, strengthening your quads and calves and hamstrings, that's going to be good for the knee and not bad for the knee.
Yes.
So it's going to be slightly different for everybody. And if you do have a concern about the specific exercises with your specific injury, then that's when I would recommend going to a PT to get something very customized to you. But the easiest thing for every injured athlete or somebody, not necessarily with an injury, but with somebody with a sensitive spot, is do what you can, focus on what you can do and not what you can't do.
Yeah. The injury has to be apparently treated pretty much like arthritis. It's not arthritis, although it will almost certainly become that at some point. Hopefully in 20 years' time. But
yeah, you don't know. You don't know if it's going to. And, with arthritis is tricky. Sometimes, it means going to your doctor for cortisone shots. Sometimes there's very specific things that can help and keep you active that, have nothing to do with training. And that's something you and your, doctor would talk about. But what I don't want you to do is avoid strength training. We want to figure out that Goldilocks amount and those Goldilocks exercises that are actually going to be helpful to you without making the situation worse.
Okay, Claire, the thing is, what you don't realize, I'm trying to look for an excuse not to go to the gym.
You're not going to get it from me unless the only way you can not get to the gym is if you build a home gym and then you do it. That's the only way out of it, because running does not build very much strength. Running is a catabolic exercise. So it is eating muscle and not building muscle. And sure, if you're doing hills or you're doing plyometrics, you're doing jump training, there is some muscle being built. It's not entirely, but you are not going to build the lean muscle tissue that you really need for both sport and longevity by just running alone.
Right.
There is literally no elite marathoner that does not strength train. Zero. Okay. They all strength train.
Yeah. But I'm different. I'm special.
Aren't we all? Yeah, you are special, Terry, just like everybody else.
Exactly. The old parable we told each other at work was, if you're 1 in a million, there's 1,000 people just like you in China. So you're not special. And I'm not. Yep. I mean, I do need to strength train, and I'm not really going to make excuses. I am going to go to the gym tomorrow. No, I am going to go to the gym tomorrow. And you will see it on the PR wall tomorrow. I can't go today. I've got a lot going on at home today, but really, it is part of what I'm going to do.
I'll be back with Terry right after a short break.
The internet gives us a glimpse into the crazy happening all around us. Unhinged behavior, personal secrets, unbelievable coincidences. It's all one big circus, and the RR Show is your front row seat. Each week, we curate the wildest Reddit stories just for you. Whether you're into hilarious accidents, insane relationship drama, or pure chaos, these insane confessions are sure to make your jaw drop. Listen to the RR Show weekly on Mondays via your favorite podcast platform, or get your episodes early and ad-free by becoming a member. The RR Show. All of the drama, none of the hassle.
Welcome back to The Planted Runner. Here's more of my conversation with Terry.
You mentioned plyos, and I want to talk about those.
Yeah.
Why don't you introduce them? Because I'm scared of bouncing around and hurting myself.
So plyometrics is any kind of jumping exercises. So it can be as simple as hopping up and down on both feet. It's jump rope, or it can be as extreme as jumping up onto boxes. So you don't need to jump up onto boxes to get started with jumping. Plyometrics is just a fancier word for jumping, but it's so good for everything in the human body. So I'm not even talking about leaping. This is, getting an inch off the ground is all you need. Just hop, 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 little light hops. And it's really great for a runner to build balance and coordination and strength and power. But it's really also good as we age, because all of those things are some of the first things to go as we age. We are going to lose power before we lose speed. And power is the ability to generate force quickly, right? So if we slip and fall and we've lost all of our power, we're not going to be able to react quickly enough to stop our fall. And if we don't have enough strength, we're also going to fall down and break a hip or something like that. So those are things that we really, really need to work on as we age, along with balance and coordination. Again, it's preventing falls. That's a major reason why people become immobile as we age. So we want to prevent disasters like falling. But it's also so we can do all the things we want to do in life. We can have a 2-story house our whole life. We can take the groceries in, there's just living life independently. We want to preserve our power. And that jumping is a great way to do that. And it literally takes 3 minutes. 3 minutes a day, just hop, 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 hop. Okay. So if you are nervous about being hurt, it's no more dangerous than running, which is hopping from one foot to another. So if you don't like unilateral hopping on one leg, you can just do 2 feet. I would say get a jump rope because it's fun, but you don't need a jump rope. I mean, the great thing about a jump rope is it forces coordination as well. And it's also self-limiting. So if you're bad at jump rope, you can't overdo it because you can't literally do enough jump roping because you're bad at it. But as you get better and fitter and more coordinated with jumping rope, you can do more. So I love jump ropes. I would tell everybody in the world to jump rope twice a week for 3 minutes, and it would do amazing things for you.
Okay. All right. Well, that gives me a lot. If I'm jumping around, should I be wearing like cushioned like running shoes, or what kind of what's appropriate there?
I honestly suggest if you can do it barefoot, that's the best way to do it. So it could be on something softer. You shouldn't be landing on your heels anyway. You're just sort of hopping on the front foot. Yeah. But the reason barefoot is nice is because you have all of these little stabilizing muscles in your feet, especially, but also in your lower legs that don't really get a workout, especially if you're wearing shoes most of the time. So a little bit of jumping barefoot. And again, soft jumps. It's going to be impactful either way. But just you land quietly. We don't want these elephant pounding kind of sounds, but this really helps like the flexibility and your muscles in your feet, the little tiny ones that we don't think about too much.
Okay. I will definitely have that in my program then and start doing some more jumping.
Yes.
Yes. Somewhere in the closet, somewhere I've got a jump rope. I'll take it out and try and not get tripped up by it. But okay.
Yes, try it out.
That's great. So, I mean, the great thing, just to go back to the sort of training for the rest of the year, because I've got so much time here, we can take our time with things. If things get in the way, it doesn't matter. The schedule is, there's no end point right now. There's no race that we're looking at. We've got months to work on things.
Right. We don't want to even really touch 5K training unless you wanted to race one this summer just for fun, just to get a baseline, which is great to stay in touch with, racing experience. You certainly can do that. But things like a 5K training plan, we really don't want you in that for longer than 6 to 8 weeks because your body gets used to that level of training and stops really adapting much. So we want to really be in cycles. So we would do 5K training for 8 weeks and then shift down. But what I like in your situation is I call it the kitchen sink plan. We just throw at you everything, just different kinds of workouts that you might not think make sense with each other because they're not building towards a race, but it's really good for all around athleticism. So just throw everything at you, but really don't worry so much about the running. Just stay in touch with it and focus really on your strength.
Okay. Yeah.
At least for the summer.
No,
and then hopefully you've fallen in love with it and you'll actually like strength training because you're a beginner and you'll get good at it and you'll see your progress. Like there's a lot of beginner fun. If you look at it that way, instead of as something that you dread every day, you can look at it as, oh, I'm not expected to be good at this. And then when you get better and better and reach little milestones and you pick up the 20-pound weight instead of the 15-pound weight or whatever it is, you say, oh, look at me, I'm so strong. And that part is fun. So remember being a beginning runner, you can be a beginning strength trainer and collect all those little wins.
Okay. That's great advice. Yeah. All right. That's that. Okay. That's good. And it's nice to not have a deadline to focus on and just, I might look at some races in the summer, but I'm not really, it gets hot here. And they tend, they tend to be in the autumn and the spring mainly. Just there's up the coast, there's races. But anyway, okay, that's good. We've got a plan here. Yeah.
We've got a plan. So I'd love to hear, what would you tell other runners your age or maybe younger runners just getting into the sport? What is running given to you and what kind of advice would you give a new runner?
Fair enough. Okay, so new runners, slow down. It's going to come. It just takes time. It's going to take longer. It's going to take longer than you want, but it's going to be more profound than you can ever imagine. If you stick with this, it will bring you a kind of joy you can't, that is inaccessible any other way. That amazing feeling when you're at the start of a race and everyone starts moving together and you feel so part of the human race. Can't beat it. And that's inaccessible to most people because they just can't, reasonably expect to run. It takes time to train up to it. So take time, be willing to wait. Don't think you're going to get that BQ the day you find out what those letters mean. It's going to take years. It is. And then you get to Boston and it rains the whole time you're in town. Okay. I was there in 2018.
But I will tell you the same advice goes for strength training. Not the Boston part, but take your time and you will get better at it and it will be profound. In a very different way, but similar.
Okay. Runners my age need to be grateful for every day they're out there. We are so lucky. I mean, I have friends who have had heart attacks. I have friends who have had cancer. They're back to running. But, that could have killed either of them. And it didn't. But we need to be grateful for every day that we are able to do this. Our bodies are fragile and we're looking after them. But you can be unlucky. So just enjoy it. Go out there. Turn the sides of your mouth up into a smile because, man, it's important and it's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
I think you asked me what's the best thing that running's ever given me, and the simple answer is serenity. There's been so many times. I mean, I've honestly had so far an amazing life. Very few negative things have happened to me in my life, but if we think about March 2020, everything was shutting down. The world we didn't know what to expect. And fortunately here we were allowed, shall we say, to run outdoors. And during that time when, we didn't know what this disease was going to do, getting out there and just being alone with myself and running and I was able to process. I can't change what's going to happen, but it gave me some time to calm my mind in a way that was, it's always worked for me that way. There's been times in my life when I've been upset or angry, and getting out and running hard 400s, which probably means like 2 minutes, but whatever. But running hard for 2 minutes and then resting just enough and going again, it burns off your anger. At the end, you come back and you can't remember what you were upset about. It's really valuable. So it's serenity. It's that mental state. If I never enter another event, another race again in my life, I will run till I can't, just for the meditative value that it gives me. To me, it's my meditation. It's why I don't run with headphones. I don't listen to music. I certainly don't listen to podcasts. I do that in my armchair, and it's great, and I love it. But I don't run with those distractions. I like to say I hypnotize myself. It's not accurate, but it is a very meditative sort of activity for me. And I think that's accessible to anyone who wants it. And I think it's valuable. So,
yes.
Yeah. I mean, there's so much running's given me, but that is the single most significant thing. It's why I run. It's why I'm talking to you today.
Well, I love it. Serenity. I think that's a perfect place to wrap this up. Terry, if people want to connect with you, how can they find you?
So I don't do social media anymore, but I am on Strava, and my profile's public. So if people want to find me, that's where you can find me. And of course, I have to say, join the PR team. I'm active on the wall there.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Well, thank you, Terry, so much for being here, sharing your experience, and telling us all about Cape Town. It's a treat to have you and talk with you today.
Thank you very much, Claire. It's been wonderful.
And now it's time for this week's Mental Strength Minute. Fortify your mind in 60 seconds or less. Today's topic is Doubt is a Story. When you're about to do something hard, or you're in the middle of doing something hard, most people's default setting is doubt. You're not sure you're up to the task, the race feels harder than you thought, or you're not sure you'll get back on your feet after a setback. While doubt is completely normal, it's actually just a story your brain is telling you about the future. The brain is a prediction machine designed to look for threats, so of course, it finds threats everywhere, and then invents a story of doubt. The good thing about this is that you can replace this story with a better one. Confidence about the future is also a story you tell yourself. Which one would you rather choose?
Thank you for listening to The Planted Runner, part of the Evergreen Podcast Network. Don't forget that you can enter to win a free custom training plan for your next race and get featured on the show. Just write an Apple Podcast review and enter at theplantedrunner.com/PRLab. Of course, reviews are the #1 way to boost this show's reach, and it's a great way to tell me what you'd like to hear next, because I read every single one. Have a great run today.
The internet gives us a glimpse into the crazy happening all around us. Unhinged behavior, personal secrets, unbelievable coincidences. It's all one big circus, and the RR Show is your front row seat. Each week, we curate the wildest Reddit stories just for you. Like how her future husband is definitely too close to his mother, or how a guy got revenge on his awful boss by making him lose a major client, or how a wakeboarding mishap sent a blast of water up where the sun doesn't shine. Whether you're into hilarious accidents, insane relationship drama, or pure chaos, these insane confessions are sure to make your jaw drop. Don't miss out on the stories everyone is talking about. Listen to the RR Show weekly on Mondays via your favorite podcast platform, or get your episodes early and ad-free by becoming a member. The RR Show. All of the drama, none of the hassle.